Hey guys, welcome to Hex and Chill. This is Lou, Kay, and Shay, and we're super pumped for today's episode. We're going to be talking about, drumroll please, the Ouija board.
The Ouija board. Commonly known as Ouija, but actually pronounced Ouija.
So we will probably say both during this podcast.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because as everyone knows, I've been gardening, so here
Do
we
we
go.
know?
Do we know? Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
And we are going to kind of discuss our experiences with the Ouija board, movie, pop culture, and also just the bad feeling behind Ouija boards or the misleading information.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving into the mystique and the fear around Ouija boards.
Ooh.
Are they evil? Are they tools? Or maybe a bit of both?
Burr, burr, burr.
Do you know?
The muffin
Leo,
Man.
tell us.
Tell us. Oh,
Thank you.
she has blessed our souls with protection.
I think she wants to leave.
Wait.
And I'm out of here.
We
I don't
need
talk
the
about no Ouija
protection.
boards.
She's like, I'm not going to be your planchette.
Dang it.
Imagine just a cat sliding across the board. Where's her pawn? Hey! That's dumb. Okay. Anyways, yes. So we have all used a Ouija board before
Correct.
in our youths and in current states of life.
In our youth.
I never used it as a youth.
Not as a youth. Not
Okay,
for me.
I was
horrified.
in college, so I guess that's not youth.
You were an adult.
I was
Sort of.
But your brain was not fully developed, so
That was
you
a
were
bad
youth.
experience.
Tell us about it, Kay.
Let me tell you about it. Okay, so my first ever experience, I went to a Christian college. We did this in a Christian college dorm, just so everybody knows. And they had bought it, and we all were going to come over. And we begin to do it. And it moves across, and we get the spirit of a young boy named AJ. I still remember that our school was right next to a more projects area. And it was talking about how he went to a school that was over there. It was just like a fun experience, and I still remember it. But then my one friend and me are on the board just holding it, and he's like, "You're not moving it, right?" I'm like, "No, are you moving?" He's like, "No." So we're both like looking at each other, and his rational brain decides, this is too scary. I'm going to just mess with everybody. Because like he and me still talk about how like neither of us were moving it, and it was moving. And so he then starts act like he's getting possessed by this board, and everyone starts freaking the fuck out. Like, we're like, are you serious? Because he's like rolling his, I mean, like, we should have caught it. But guys, we were like so freaked. And then he was like, just kidding. And everyone was like immediately pissed. We were like, we're done.
Everyone was like, I'm
Fuck
leaving.
you. We're leaving. And at this time I was with my husband. We were dating, and we were both like, out. Like, we're out. And it's a funny story, but it's like, it still lives with me in positive and negative in the sense that nothing really did negative happen though. Someone
But it
just
was
pretended.
scary.
Yeah. But it was scary because the myth behind like what you could
What
let
it
in.
was meant- yeah. We should probably talk a little bit about like the real history and when it
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Why don't you jump into that?
We kind of see the Ouija board come out of the spiritualist movement, which was like the mid 1800s, which I don't know. To me, this talking board situation feels like this could have been something that has been around for hundreds of years. But
for sure.
I mean, it's still relatively new in the history of humanity. In 1848 was when we see the Fox sisters using, I think just in general, the story about the Fox sisters is very
And I don't even
fascinating.
know if they used a Ouija board. So I think they did the alphabet. It was the first use of like when we get to a certain letter,
Yeah.
their ankle cracked. And so that's how they spell. But it was like
you're right.
a human Ouija board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right. So really, the Ouija board hadn't really existed even
No.
at this point. But this is kind of when the spiritualist movement really started
Yeah.
taking
To
place.
use that. And then the gaming company was like, hey, this is a real smart idea.
We should let everybody do this.
We should make a game.
Yeah,
And-
which is crazy. I don't know if you guys really knew this or not, but it's literally marketed as a game by Hasbro.
Oh yeah.
And the Parker brothers, whose same people that make Monopoly.
Who stole it from a woman.
Yeah.
Boo,
which
look
is
it
weird.
up. Look up the history.
Although there is a little bit of a talking board history that takes place in 1886, which is apparently being used by people in spiritualist camps in Ohio.
Okay.
So it had like the same kind of thing. And
Yeah.
there's also, actually in 1890 was when the Ouija board was patented. It had the same thing, the letters, the numbers, the yes or no, and then the planchette. So there's a couple of different stories about why the Ouija board got its name. One of the stories is that it's actually an Egyptian word for good luck.
Okay.
One of the stories is that someone named Helen Peters decided to use it. She was actually one of the businessmen that patented the Ouija board itself, Elijah Bond's sister-in-law. She
Oh yeah, remember? I remember.
she asked the board itself, what do you want to be called? And it spelled out the letters Ouija.
Okay.
Ouija.
It's not till recently that her story is being told. Also.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she was totally erased from the story of this.
Right. Because she was a woman and it was the very late 1800s, early 1900s. So
Of course.
And women couldn't have good ideas.
No.
Ever.
We had them all. They were just stripped from us.
Anyways.
So then we move into the whole situation where now the talking board has been patented. It exists, right? And in 1901, William Fuld, he takes over and mass produces these boards. But they're not marketed as like scary. They're marketed as like, this is a game that you play with when you're on a date. When you're
Yes.
about to get
There were
sexy
so
with
The
someone.
70s were all about
Yeah,
sexy
there
boards.
was
Well, this
so
was
many
actually
different-
not even at that point yet.
There was, you're right. In the beginning, it was like, don't you want to like, they have a lot of dating ads for them.
Yeah, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
But it also, there was definitely a big peak in people using them in the 30s and 40s to talk to ancestors and people that they lost in the war to try to just have that closure, right?
Yeah.
But initially it was more of like, ooh,
Yeah.
let's get close and like,
Yeah, your knees are
literally,
touching.
You have to put your knees together, touch the other person, and then you're both touching this board that you're balancing on your laps.
Stop, you're making me blush.
I know.
Yeah. When you think they're so evil, remember that they were created as a dating game to start off with.
Right.
Which is wild.
And that's just so silly to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, what were you supposed to spell? Like, what were the questions that you were asking about? Are we going to have sex tonight?
Yeah. No,
Yes.
that's too.
Are
That's
we gonna
too
get
much for that
married?
time period?
Right, like, you're
Does
both
he
reading
love
the
pinky
Pinky going
planchette.
to touch my pinky?
He loves me. He loves me not.
Yeah.
You know?
And then in 1966, that's when the Parker brothers / now Hasbro buys the rights to all of the boards, and that's when we really see that like that big peak in like, let's push the love agenda, which
There
is
was like a sex Ouija board.
Yep.
Do you guys remember seeing that one in the
Yeah.
museum?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And if you go to the Ouija board museum, like you can see all
They're
of these.
so,
Yeah.
they're
For
so
yourself.
cool too.
Yeah, and like
Some
the
of the
old,
old
like,
ones.
Barbie ones.
Yes.
Those were funny.
There are a lot of Egyptian ones, which
Yeah.
are fun, cool. So maybe from the idea that
Yeah.
it's been an Egyptian word.
Right. The main takeaway from this history is that these talking boards were not ever meant to be anything that were malicious.
Right.
Everything was always meant to be something fun, or even if you were talking to someone beyond the dead, it was always for closure. It was never for anything to come
Channeling
through.
evil.
And, right, exactly.
And culturally, in other cultures, I feel like the dead are more talked to than like it's not as fearful.
right. Dia de los Muertos is
you
literally all about
celebrate
honoring the
and
dead.
talk to them and leave them things that you like. So I feel, it just was so scary for America, and I think even London. There are like these movements where it became, maybe it was worldly, but I feel like America is like a big scared of Ouija
Yeah.
boards. I mean, The
It stood
Exorcist is one of the scariest movies, and it's about her letting in a demon through a board that she uses by herself, and it's terrifying. Did you know that?
Yeah, I was there when you found out. Because we were in Salem, Massachusetts at the Ouija board
I watched
museum.
that movie.
Well,
The
yes.
Exorcist.
Yes, but also when we were there in the museum, we talked about it.
That is true. But it's not like I was like, that was a Ouija board they used in The Exorcist.
Well, I was, because I didn't remember that part. And then
I've never seen The Exorcist, so that was news when I learned that. I know we have to watch
the
that
thing,
one too.
The thing that comes through is that weird name.
Reagan.
No, Reagan is her name. Anyways,
That weird name.
so
Reagan.
That's my mom's middle name.
Reagan. In history,
She's
Ouija
possessed.
has had a lot of negative things through horror film. So
Yeah.
there's been several movies. We recently watched the newest Ouija board where
Was it
Well,
Ouija
it's actually
Origin?
no. Oh, did we? No, we watched Ouija,
We watched
Ouija.
Ouija.
and then there is another one
Called
It's
Ouija.
called Ouija. I don't know.
Origin.
Some
Whatever.
Origins.
Recently, there's
probably.
been newer ones, and this one was really good. It was really creepy.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. That is the one that we watched. Origin of Evil is the one that we
Yes.
watched. Which
We
came
watched
out
that in
after
Salem,
Ouija.
Massachusetts,
In
a
our haunted hotel room.
Yeah, it was real smart.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to say it's haunted though.
Which I think, okay,
It's-
so I think we,
Occupied by other spirits.
Kay
Felt like
has
it.
always been into Ouija boards, I believe. Like,
No, I mean they kind of scare me.
well, yeah,
they
okay.
did.
But I've
Even
never
before-
been.
Your booty hole friend did that.
I've always like in high school. No, man, I wouldn't touch that.
Right. I would never touch anything, but like I've also never had the desire to use a Ouija board.
I have always.
Yeah.
Right. See, like I've never had the desire until now, but I think it's really cool when we were in Salem, a lot of the information for this podcast and everything is coming from our experience at the Ouija Museum because it was so cool and just the way that the man talked about it. What was his name?
John.
Maybe. I think it was John. If it's not John.
It was like
Sorry.
John or Joe. I think it was John.
I
It
think
was
so.
John. We walked and it was funny because I had seen a little ad about it, I think on TikTok. And so I was like, guys, when we're in Salem, we have to go to this. And it was on our list, but we had a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of one of our days, we were walking back to the place we were staying and
I
just
think we
saw
happened
it.
to be in the shop
were
that
looking-
actually is in front of it, and didn't
Yeah, we didn't even know. Like we
Yeah.
were looking for a coffee shop on the way home that was supposed to be. Anyways, we located it. It's inside a Harry Potter shop. Like it's in the back of a Harry Potter designated. Like
Yeah.
And I want to say it was like one of the favorite. It was one of my favorite places we went because it was so cool.
the Harry
And-
Potter shop was amazing.
Well,
it was
the-
so
the
cool. But
Ouija,
I'm saying
yeah.
like the whole thing was cool. If you're
yeah.
if you're a Harry Potter fan, you walked in, you would have been like dead. Like it was good.
It was so good.
And then behind it was a room full of Ouija boards. So
And it was
there's
also
that.
really cool.
That was one of my
Wands
favorite.
and Ouijas.
Wands
my
and
favorite
Ouijas.
things.
All made of wood. Not always, actually. Some of them were metal. But this guy has collected Ouija boards, and so now he has a large collection. And some are very, very old, and some are new. And he says, does not matter. Sometimes the newest boards, he says, the one that is most active for people is this Stranger Things one that was like in a frame.
And it's
By
just
itself.
so cool because
Yeah.
people will send him Ouija boards.
Yeah.
And like say, I don't want this back. They won't put a return address on it.
That was
so
the
it can't
Stranger
go-
Things
yeah.
one. They were like,
And
you can have it.
you can have it. We don't want it. Very similar to the Warrens and having their occult museum or whatever. But talking to John was so interesting because I think Kay asked him, like, do you believe in this? Like, why aren't you afraid? Have you ever had an experience with anything here? And you can share what he said.
Well, he just told our group, he's like, actually, no. He's like, I love this. I'm so interested in this. I'm a believer. But because I am so fascinated with them and in love with them and I love the collection, they just don't affect me that way because I
Right.
don't give him anything. He
Right,
says, I
'cause
don't
he's
give
not
him
afraid of
fear.
them.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to hurt me. I'm not afraid. So they're not active with me. But I
Yeah.
have people who have activity in here all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe.
And I
right?
think that's what made like his recollections or his accounts so meaningful is because he wasn't speaking from a place of like, these are my fearful experiences.
Right.
It was literally, this is the history.
Yes,
And-
he didn't oversell it. He did what you're supposed to do with a haunted thing, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
respect it.
Because some of them in there are very haunted Ouija boards. And why I think is because people give so much fear to them.
Right.
They're like these little you know, things that like trap, like the ones that we own, I don't think can be that because we're not giving them that.
No.
But one that's old or one that's been used over and over again for something, like someone who's a little lost and is reaching out to something dark, right? It's going to answer.
Yeah.
Right? You're calling out.
It's all about, I mean, I'm a firm believer it's all about the energy that you're putting in.
Yes.
And I mean, whether that comes to experiences you're having with paranormal activity, like we talked about this the other day. I was at my aunt's house and there was something in the corner of my room. And I had that moment of, do I look at it and recognize it and be afraid? Or do I just, it's not there. I'm ignoring it because I'm choosing not to be afraid of it. And then I just went to sleep and like I cast in my circle, whatever. But it's all about, like, I know if I would have opened my eyes, something would have been there and I would have been scared shitless.
Do you think opening your eyes would have conquered more fear though?
I think in that moment, like, I know myself. If I would have been able to like ground myself, but again, I was falling asleep. It was late, and
You're by yourself.
By myself. I chose to go to sleep and not be afraid in that moment.
I always have to look because
know
it
you
eats
do.
away at me. Like it gets bigger and bigger. Like if I don't look at it, because I have the same thing. My house is a new build. It's perfectly safe. I use the spirit box. It's always doesn't make any sense. Whenever it's very confused. Like it's not. So I think it's more maybe in the earth, something that was here before.
Yeah.
Some kind of energy. And sometimes I just feel it. And my son even said one time, like, Mommy, there's someone standing there inside your bathroom. And I was like, that's really scary. But I mean, for me, what did he see? Did he just see energy?
Yeah, I was living
3?
with Kay when this happened. And she told me the next morning, I was like, you didn't wake me up. You didn't tell me to get out of the house.
No, I just went back to sleep. I was like, oh. But, you know, anyways, there's something
If you were in a
here.
horror movie, you would have died.
Yeah, been dead because it was actually
or we'd
a
have called the
murderer.
Warrens. I don't know.
Because I looked and there was nothing there. So I knew it wasn't like an axe murderer in my house.
But see, that's why you would have been dead, is because you had to look. Because in horror movies, if they look, usually they die.
But also, if they don't look, they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, Jason really likes to kill you from behind. So does Michael.
Yeah.
Arrow up the
Anyways,
Yeah.
Ouija boards.
Ouija boards.
Well, so then that's when we move into the representation that we saw in The Exorcist, which was a
Right.
huge catalyst to changing how Ouija boards were seen. And if you've not seen The Exorcist, sorry to spoil it for you, but it came out in 1973, so you don't have a lot of an excuse to not have seen it.
Yeah, we talked about this
Lou.
already.
Oh,
Remember?
it's fine. It's fine.
That the Ouija board was used. Yes,
Right.
sorry if I ruined it for you.
So anyway, we see Reagan use the planchette alone.
Which you're not allowed to do.
You know, it's funny because
Which-
that wasn't even
that's
in
not-
the
yeah,
rules
yeah.
before that movie happened.
Yeah,
so
oh, yeah,
that was
you
a
told us
choice
that.
that the movie decided to make and then changed the culture.
Which gives it more fear, too.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we see her use it, and then that's when, of course, she gets possessed by, I guess, it's a demon.
It's a
so
demon. His name
whatever.
is something Captain, I think. I forget.
What? Captain
Demon.
Demon. Love that guy.
His name is something weird. He names himself something weird.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up. He possesses her. She goes all psycho, and the whole movie is very disturbing. The Exorcist is
very
one of the most
disturbing.
disturbing movies. I do not enjoy watching it because it makes
Yeah.
me feel
Gross.
like we went to this museum that had the prop. She was like the robot prop of the head turning. You know,
Oh yeah.
they had it there, and I was like, she's
no.
so scary.
Was it the wax museum? Like the
No, this
Not
was a cinema history museum.
Oh, okay.
It had a Muppet.
Are you ready for the demon name?
Yes.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
That's what Google just said.
But what is he gives her a name. Like it's a friendly name that she's talking to.
Oh, Captain Pickles.
That's it. Perfect. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a scary movie I blocked heavily, so
No, it just reminds me of Paranormal Activity and
Yeah.
Toby. The demon's name was Toby.
tiptoe through the window. That's
That's
Insidious.
Insidious, but yeah,
I love that song.
same vibe.
So yeah, Ouija boards really became fearful. Like it became a national, like, I mean, we grew up thinking that they were used for demons, and it was very
Yeah, that's how you talk to Satan.
yeah, it's a culty, and like
Yeah.
you don't do it. Don't even mess with that stuff. Like I
Correct.
still have friends who are like, I will not mess with that because it is very taboo. It's very scary.
Right. But when you really think about the history of it all, it's literally just a board.
Yeah, but I think we, even though when we practice now using it,
Captain Howdy.
Captain. I told you his name was
Or
Captain.
the salesman.
She says his name was Captain Howdy.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Thank you, Victory. Even though we know that it's a board and we know it's a tool to be used, I think because of the power that we have given it culturally, we do respect that it can be used negatively. And so we protect ourselves when we do practice this.
Yes.
We surround it with salts. We have our sacred circle. We enter it saying, this is who can talk to us. You do not have power over us. This is where you can talk. And we typically talk to like ancestors or spirit guides, mostly for tools. And sometimes if something wants to, but it's never like, yo, here's free reign. Just come talk to us.
Well,
like,
and I think the difference is like, I don't have that fear.
yeah,
I am
Exactly.
like not, I think I struggle to say like, I am the most powerful thing.
say
And
it with
I
your
am
full
not
chest.
afraid of what's on the other side because I am the light.
Yes.
And I think the difference, honestly, the difference in who I am now and who I was when I was a Christian is when I was a Christian, I wasn't the light. Jesus was the light. I wasn't powerful. Jesus was powerful.
Yeah.
And in those moments when you're alone, you're not alone because Jesus is always with you, but like you feel alone and I'm not powerful. Jesus is powerful. I am not the light, you know? But now I don't have that fear because I am powerful. I am the light. And so I don't have
Yeah, is
to
Jesus
fear
going to
what
look away from me when I do this because he's ashamed? Am I going to be abandoned?
right. And it's like I don't have that fear anymore. So
I
don't know.
really love, like, one, you naming that because I very much agree. Think it's very true. And just in thinking about the tools, like, that we use in general, like, the reason people have negative experiences with tools like this is because they are scared of it.
Yeah.
Or they're
and
calling
so-
something bad.
Or there
They're
is
doing
an
that out of
intention
hate. They want
yeah.
to, and for me, I also think a point for us that we've all talked about is if we're not believing in heaven and hell, if we're not believing in God and Satan, the idea of demons doesn't hold as much fear for us.
Yeah, there's no weight to it.
You know, sometimes I believe that there might be darker energy that can latch onto you or a darker spirit. That echo that's been left behind, you can feel it. When you walk into a place that's negative, I believe it's negative.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just not a literal demon crouching in the corner being like,
Trying to
hiss,
steal my
hiss.
soul.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
let
I'm
me-
not worried about my soul, someone trying to steal that, because again,
Right.
I am powerful. I am the light. My soul is mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the thing too is that, like, I don't understand, like, religion is hard for me because, yes, if you don't think that you are the light and you are the one that is powerful, then what your brain can create can truly make it happen.
Yes.
So if you feel you walk into a space and then there is literally a demon crouching in the corner, that's because you're making it happen.
Yeah.
Because you're powerful. So, sister, brother, non-binary friends, let's go ahead and calm that down and know that, like, you're confident in who you are. And if you want to use a talking board, if you want to use these tools, you can use them. Don't give them the power over you.
And I
You have
sometimes
the power.
think that we tap into that power when we are stuck in a religion, or we choose to be in a religion that really speaks to us. So if you are a Christian and this is your journey and you really identify in this path and this God makes sense to you, whatever, all these good things. If that's where you are, like, I definitely knew that when I was little, like that's what I believed. And so when I sit up on the bed and said, you do not have power here, Satan, I've got Jesus, it felt powerful because
Yes.
we were tapping into that.
Yeah.
The idea that
Right.
maybe we're not as strong as we are now, but we were like tapping into that, like, hey, you can't mess with me.
Yeah.
I think that's why it feels, because we all felt that power when you're like, oh, here's my testimony, Jesus used me. Like we, like just like Shay said, and when we create a negative, like that demon is there, we also are like giving so much power to like what we've been taught. Like Jesus is going to give you that power.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. What I truly don't understand though is like the Bible literally says like we can't be possessed if we have Jesus in our heart or whatever, you know, like, and we don't have to fear those things because Jesus won. Why are we still so afraid?
Yeah.
Because the church controls you through fear.
And I think people do get possessed too.
Let's write a song.
No, okay, when I was okay, there's difference between oppression and possession.
Yes, you know this.
I do know this. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, but I was a part of a church in a youth group that believed in doing demonic, like doing exorcisms because people were oppressed. Like I remember when my youth pastor, we were talking about all this stuff, and one night he was laying down and his wife was laying next to him, and she started like talking in her sleep, and she said like, I don't want to hurt him, and then something like that, and he turns and he's like, what are you talking about? And then she just starts like giggling, and then she like reaches over and starts choking him, and he's like a black belt, like very police officer, very macho man, and he could not get her arm off of him, and she was choking him, and finally he like put his hand on her, was like, Jesus, like, or get thee behind me, Satan, like, be gone, whatever, saying whatever, Christianese, whatever. And then she just like went back to sleep.
Did you just say Christianese?
We used to say that all the time.
Christianese.
Oh, that's funny.
Like the language. I'm crying. That's so funny.
The language of Christians. Christianese.
So that happened. So I'm getting told that, and me hearing that, I'm like, fuck.
Wow.
I can get oppressed. I'm scared. I don't have a husband that's going to exorcise me if I try to accidentally, so it's that kind of fear. And then also like they would talk about stories of seeing angels and seeing demons and all of this. And not that I can remember, I never saw that, but I was also horrified. I was so scared to see that because I didn't want to. And so I have all of that stuff that lives in there and so much fear, but it's like, why?
The people that totally believe in angels and demons but can't get behind ghosts, like,
don't make any sense.
Like, I get it too. Like, I think we do see, like, angels and demons are just words that we use in the Christianese. Like, I do believe that you do see a dark energy, like you just said, or you can create that dark energy, or you see a past life that's coming to visit you, or you see something that's guarding you or protecting you, or a ghost, a family member, whatever. Yeah. So my mom said she saw my brother and sister's angels, and there was like a tall guy and a fat little chubby guy that was walking. I mean, like, and for her, it was like, it wasn't this like angel. It was like these two very like beautiful spirits watching over my brother and sister. Mm-hmm. And I like that. Like, it's like, do I think she was making up? And she called them angels, because that was the terminology she knows.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And now she's more like, I think they were guides. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which it's the same thing. Like, She's putting different, it's, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't, it's hard to like not look at someone who's a Christian and be like, I have this experience. Why are you telling me it's not true? And I feel like that's not what we're saying. Right. We're saying like, there's just different lenses and masks and things to see through.
Yes.
Correct. And we just see it
and
more
like,
flowy, more.
Yeah. And I,
more, less controlled.
Yes.
Well, and okay, so speaking about Pentecostal church, so like I went to a Pentecostal church and speaking in tongues all the time. I never spoke in tongues, but like it's just so interesting because I know because I always had questions because I didn't receive my prayer language or whatever, and so I always had these questions of, because you're watching it happen and you're watching people lay hands on people and healing them and doing all of this stuff, and the people that are speaking in tongues and like thrashing on the ground, they are having a real experience.
Correct.
They're not faking. And I think that goes to show again how powerful we are.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I understand it so deeply. Like, similar experience. I don't know that I've ever shared this story with you all, but yes, went to a Pentecostal church and was always like very coerced into wanting to receive my tongues.
Yeah.
Never did, because I genuinely don't think that was a gift that I possess anyway. But I did experience what is called falling out in the spirit.
Yes.
And
I haven't heard that in so long.
do remember, and being a child, I think I was maybe 10, maybe not, less than 10, falling out, literally falling onto the floor and just crying uncontrollably. And
I hate altar calls.
I remember hearing everything around me. It was a very vivid experience, and people saying like, "Oh, she's just faking it. She's just faking it." And then, but my brain was like, "I'm not faking it."
You bitch.
And so I remember them like actively trying to tickle me and try to get me up, which is crazy because these are the people that wanted me to fall out in the spirit. But the service was over. It was time to go home. And I was still under this experience.
Yeah.
And had to be physically carried to the car. And the entire time they're all like, "Oh, she's just faking it. She's just faking it." And then, maybe she wasn't faking it. But now, honestly, thinking about it, for me, I'm like, maybe I was just being very stubborn.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You gonna say I'm faking it? Okay, period. I'm gonna show you I'm not."
But you were 10, and like I don't think that was the intention.
Or maybe it was. I
Or
have
maybe
been
you
a
were
very
just, like-
stubborn woman.
Not even that, but maybe you were just like you obviously are very into like being an actress now and being very like, so maybe your little self being like, "You want to see this really cool," like your brain's not even
check
being
this out.
mischievous. It's just being, because like
Like, you're challenging me, so I want to accept that challenge.
Yeah, on the flip side, when I was 10, I didn't go to a Pentecostal church. I went to just a non-denominational, so that's not something you did. But my cousins did, and my cousins were super religious, and they all had their tongues, and I used to go there every summer for like a month. And so when I was there, they were like, "Okay, Kara, do you want to pray for your tongues?" And I was like, "Sure. Whatever.
Let's
Sure.
go.
Let's do it."
Yeah.
And they're like praying for me. And all of a sudden I was like, I think I could talk in this cool language. And I just started talking. And in my brain, I just was like tapping into something. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I was tapping into some past language because I was just so opened up to it and not craving it and needing it to be part of my religion. It was just so innocent. And so that's why I'm like, maybe I did tap into something really cool.
Yeah.
And they were all like, "Yeah." And I was like, okay, I guess I'm more Christian now.
Honestly, I love that you named that, because that really does make me think about like where I went trajectorily throughout life. Because in college, I had a very similar experience where I fell out in the spirit again, and everyone was trying to get me up, but I physically couldn't. Like, I physically was just like so overwhelmed with emotion and feeling that I physically couldn't move my body. But maybe you're right. Like, maybe when I was a kid, I was tapping into something. It just wasn't this idea of God
what is
or a
weird
spirit.
in church too, like I was always that person that was embarrassed for the people that were like falling out in spirit, because I was like, I don't understand.
Right.
Because when I'm doing it and people are touching me, I'm like, "Can you please stop touching me?" Like, that's how, and I wanted it too. Like that I wanted, because that was like a big thing during our generation.
Yeah.
Our generation, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
It was a big movement about big conferences of Christian kids getting together, doing a worship service, altar
remember
calls.
Sanctuary?
Yes, coming forth, getting healed.
Yeah.
Big movement for our generation. So, like, I think we've all had those experiences where people do shove you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're like, "Be healed," and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna be healed now." But and I think of the like prophecy spoken over me and how powerful they were.
When she says prophecy, it is in air quotes.
Yeah, sorry, air quotes. Because I'm like, what? It's just an interesting thing, because
Well, I mean, okay, I
I don't know if you ever had a prophecy told.
Oh, my
no,
gosh. I have one. Oh,
I used to get pictures for people. Like I had many times where I would like be sitting with someone and praying with them, and then I would get a picture in my head and I would share it with them, and Jesus fucking Christ, they would start bawling and be like, "Oh my gosh." And like I felt, and like looking back on it now, I'm like, it's my intuition,
Yeah,
But which is funny, like, because I've never done that again.
You should do that now.
We should do that.
Yes,
now.
it sounds like you're kind of like reading like
Yeah, you a
oracles.
psychic?
Like,
Girl,
okay.
you tapping into something really cool. We're all deciding different roles we want to take on. I think Shay should learn how to read birth charts and kind of like tell you your and then you can be psychic. I don't know what I'm going to be yet. I guess I'll just hold a Ouija board.
I also just want to be
Just hold the Ouija board, not play with it or anything. Just hold it.
I also just want to be an herbalist. That's
Yes.
all I want to do with my life. Anyways,
One day. That's the
one
dream.
day. But-
Haunted house, herbal shop, coffee shop, witch shop. That's our dream.
dispensary.
Beautiful.
I guess herbal shop is also
A dispensary.
dispensary.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Book
Weed is
shop
there.
in the corner.
Anyways, but like I used to like get pictures for people, and then but I never received tongues. I've never spoken in tongues, and I remember. Spoiler alert, I used to be a missionary. And I remember
alert.
I was.
How was that a spoiler alert, ma'am?
I don't know. I don't know if any of our audience. I don't
you've
think I've said that.
I think you have.
Every single episode.
season
just
one.
re-
I've probably not said this, but I'm a missionary.
Just say
Easy
recap.
to
It's more like a recap.
Recap.
Last week on Hex and Chill.
Lou was a missionary still.
That's funny.
But I was at this conference, and it was actually a conference just for women, and it was about like sexual trauma. It was horrible, so bad. But anyways, I remember one of the ladies coming up to me, and
I like how you said women getting together talking about sexual trauma was so bad because of like it wasn't a good experience for you because
it was all about shame. We had to talk about if we masturbated in front of these women because how shameful it is and how sinful it is.
I'm trying to talk about sexual
of-
trauma. Giving
Yeah.
you more trauma.
Yeah. This was also the same conference when I was in a counseling session, and I was like, yeah, my dad is an asshole or whatever. And then at the end of it, she's like, you need to ask for forgiveness for calling your dad an asshole. And I was like, well, he says he's an asshole, so I don't feel like I'm really
So actually,
actually.
Oh my gosh, my eyes just rolled in the back of my head.
But one of these ladies
she's possessed. No, I'm
came
just
up
kidding.
to me, and it was at the end, and she asked me if I had received my tongues yet. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, one day you're going to receive your tongues and you're going to be so much closer to Jesus. And I was like, I don't think that's actually how it works. Or it's something about if she said like, when you receive the Holy Spirit, you'll receive your tongues. And I'm like, that's also not how it works because because I'm saved, because I asked Jesus to come into my heart. That's also inviting the Holy Spirit and all. Anyways, it was so high school and cliquey. And so like
The
you
clique.
can't be a part until you're just like this. And it was just,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It sucked. Anyways, Ouija boards.
Ouija boards.
Ouija.
We cannot use them in these churches.
No, you cannot.
Or you will be a demon. And that's how
You will be the demon.
you'd be possessed. And that's where we grew up. Culturally, it was bad at that time from the 80s
And
on.
I think like going back to the original point of Ouija board, it was never designed. It was patented to be a game.
Do you think the first time it was
And that's why it's-
represented bad was from The Exorcist?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was it.
That is it.
That's crazy.
And then like
That's
all of the rules that we have, so like always saying goodbye, not doing it by yourself. I forget what the other rules are, but
Those aren't even in the
they're
actual
not.
instructions.
It was created from the exorcism
Correct.
and then from the Ouija movies that came out,
correct.
Yeah.
which is wild.
And also why you can buy Ouija boards literally at the local Walmart, at the Target.
We bought us at Target.
Yes.
They're in the game board section.
Were you
So,
when you were like a super high school Christian? Did you ever pass them and be like, "Oh my gosh, those evil things right there"?
What do you mean?
Like past the Ouija boards in the store, and you were like,
no, but I remember like feeling that about tarot, about psychics, about like I just would never mess with that.
"Yeah,
Never.
Yeah, every time I drive by, or not currently, but every time I drove by someone that had like a psychic shop, I'd be like,
I would pray for them.
that's a place full of evil over there.
I would pray for them.
yeah, no, yeah, I probably would too,
Bro,
bruh."
I was so fucking judgmental.
I know.
And, like-
I was bad in high school.
I was, oh God. Just to circle back, I mean, obviously, we're talking about Ouija boards and tools, but we did quickly mention like prophecies that were spoken over us in the church. My grandma once spoke this prophecy over me that was talking about how, and this is one that like one of the last prophecies that was ever spoken over me. So I was well into college. I was an adult by this point. She basically said that people are going to hear things come from my mouth and not want to believe me, but I'm right. And I was like, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one that was spoken over to me that I can still remember was someone laid their hands on me and they said, you will walk on water, walk on water, walk on water. He said it 3 times. And he said, you will lay hands on the nation and heal them. And that was what he said to me. And I then interpreted it as like Peter trying to walk on water and failing, like having the faith, blah, blah, blah. And he also denied Christ 3 times. Right. So I was like, I'm a Peter. That's all I interpreted from that. And then healing hands on the nation. Like, I was like, this is a really cool thing. And now in like this journey, like walking on water is like, you have power, you have power, you have power, right? You are walking on water. And that is something that Jesus does, which is like, you don't want to compare right? So you would never do that. But the idea that it's just like, you are like the light, like Jesus says you are, right? Like the and, in healing hands on the nation, I just feel like when you fully accept yourself, like I get to hopefully pass that down to my kids. This idea that they aren't judgmental in high school. They don't have that. Like, remember when I was such a bitchy Christian and judged everyone? Like, hopefully my kids never have that. They just, we teach them just to constantly like
love others
and
accept people for who they are.
Yeah. And like, that's me laying on my hands on the nation healing.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
Creating another generation.
I
And
love that.
sharing our stories on this podcast and through our, like, we are so excited about this live we're going to have, just getting together with a bunch of different witches. It's been such a freaking lovely feeling knowing that all these women are reaching out and wanting to like just be with us and like sit in a space where they feel safe and we can do a coven meeting. That's like so cool.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's so empowering.
Yes.
That like, and I'm just validating that we have found such a community within the 3 of us and like our coven and everything.
Yeah. And
that other people crave that and need that because we have created such a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and that's our take on Ouija boards.
It went a little other ways, but we got some more information in there about Ouija boards, and
I always love our conversations.
If you ever have the opportunity to use a Ouija board, you don't ever have to use it to talk to someone who is dead. You have the opportunity to speak to your spirit guides. You have the opportunity to speak or call on potentially a different god or deity that could guide you, which we've done both.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And something that my ex-boyfriend brought up, which he's really great, was using... You guys can't see Kay and Shay, but they just rolled their eyes. That was so great.
It's just the classic Lou thing to be like, not shading anybody. Everyone is love.
Yeah.
We love the positivity.
Yes, it's good.
But you can also use the Ouija board, like if you're using it with a group of people, like talking, I don't know, because it's so cool. Because yes, it could be spirits around you. It can also just be your energy speaking its truth, And so like you can ask reflecting questions maybe that you aren't honest enough to say out loud to yourself, but you can like let yourself guide,
I love how we're making the Ouija board more woohoo than it already is.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you can talk to dead people. We're like, you can talk to ancestors, your past self, spirit guides, yourself.
Exactly.
I love it.
It's cool because our energy is so powerful. We are so powerful.
You are so powerful.
And you are intentional.
Yes. Right. Anyways, we love you. If you have any questions or any thoughts about Ouija boards, please leave them in the comments below. Follow us on TikTok. And
if you've had any unexplained moments with the Ouija board, we would love to hear those as well. We have that Google form in our link and everything. So let us hear your stories. We want to hear them.
Always want to hear them. All right, guys. The light in me sees the light in you.
Bye, witches.
Guys, we're seeing such good freaking time.